Rocky, what is for you?
I really don't think they flew 90 billion light years to start a fight.
Some say chill days so long gone, can't bring them back, no magic wand. Counting white cotton clouds, fading on the blue sky's shroud. And yet somehow that way is fate, with eternal hopeful flair. Pineapple pizza, Hawaiian ice freeze, yeah. Can't wait to be up. 3 days of you and me. I'm sailing. I just can't wait for 3 days of you and me.
He's been cited by Forbes, The Wall Street Journal, Benny Johnson, Timcast, Dr. Jordan Peterson, and even the U.S. government.
But soon they'll wake up to see the summer sizzle in me.
We're doomed. Will this never end?
Dire wolves back and so are you. Oh yeah. Belvedere flying over the moon. Oh yeah. And everyone's singing just the right tune. Maestro blasting on the jazz flute.
We are all participating in mandatory fun activities.
Jelly bean bonus, every flavor in the bag. Super movie star, but first gotta join SAG.
Keep our eyes open.
Wunderkind, super friend, where are you? Get a search warrant for the near clear blue.
It's scooping time.
And can't you believe that? We've been waiting on you, can't you see that? Put away the bad things they said to you.
You are a sad, strange little man. You have my vote.
After all, just have to call and say you're some kind of
Because you are the special.
epic. Epic, epic, yeah, that's what you do. I'm talking about epic, epic, it's all you know how to do.
You wake up blue to
Epic, epic, it's on repeat for you. Oh, epic, epic, epic. Epic.
Jonas is back. Had to bring him back. Back in the groove. Jonas is back. He's back. He's back. He's back. Oh, let him shine. Jonas is back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Had to bring him back. Jonas is back. He's back. He's back. He's back. Oh, let him shine. Little baby born on the brownstone steps. Harlem hit him with the right kind of death. No matter in the world where he goes away, can't take the soul out of his sway. Jonas is back, had to bring him back, had to bring him back. Back in the groove, Jonas is back, he's back, he's back, he's back. Oh, let him shine. Jonas is back, yeah, yeah, yeah. Had to bring him back. Jonas is back, he's back, he's back, he's back. Oh, let him shine. Pipes made for radio, pro show will do. Breaking down the Hollywoods, break it down anew. Not a single day does our very own forget. Hudson River flow is where his path was set. Jonas is back, had to bring him back, had to bring him back. Back in the groove, Jonas is back, he's back, he's back, he's back. Oh, let him shine. Jonas is back, yeah, yeah, yeah. Had to bring him back. Jonas is back, he's back, he's back, he's back. Oh, let him shine. Morgan Freeman was born in Memphis. Diana from Detroit.
Hello, everyone. Conditions are perfect. It's a Thursday at noon. The children are at VBS, and you are in the capable hands of the WDW Jonas Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome. And also welcome my co-pilot for the day, Mr. Culture Casino.
Jonas is back. Yeah. I was getting it in. I was getting it in the background there. It was always that's great. It's what a great opening, and this feels good. This feels natural. Jonas, the Jonas Pro Show.
Oh, I think that this is how it needs to be. I mean, I've got my new studio set up here. I got my expensive sign set up. I got my lava lamp here. It's basically the same.
Yeah. Well, and I mean the cup.
Oh yeah, my cup overflows.
Yeah.
And yes, and it is true. The children are at VBS.
Where they should be.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. There's nothing else better than a little bit of taking a break from learning the Bible to take a vacation and learn the Bible. Anyways, that's not what y'all are here for. What y'all are here for is learning from let's see, the mannerisms of our good friend. Some might compare him to Rush Limbaugh. He's here to entertain you all while teaching you what entertainment and the media does. But he ain't here today. It's me. It's Culture. And we've got some additional guests that'll be coming in just a moment. Before we welcome her on, and also some later ones, Mark Fields for $2 says, "Have a beautiful and positive day," and offers 3 smiles. Thank you very much, Mark. Appreciate you, and I hope you're having a great day.
Me too. Thanks for being here, Mark.
Mm-hmm. Doge Pal for $2. Happy birthday to Sir Paul McCartney.
Ooh,
I
wow.
didn't realize that it was Sir Paul McCartney's birthday today.
He's getting older.
He is. He's also one of the most amazing musicians that's ever lived. Sometimes I'm just in awe of the breadth of things that he was able to accomplish in a short period of time, just as a Beatle. I think the Beatles were only officially together in the United States for 6 years or something like that.
I think it's a very, very short window. Kind of went through the discography with some folks in the chat a couple days ago, and look, I mean, from Meet the Beatles to Abbey Road, you have to think of just how much growth happened there. I mean, right in the smack dab middle of it was Sgt. Pepper's, and think about everything they gave us. They gave us like 3 different eras of music in a very short window. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, and the other thing is that he also worked on something we'll be talking about today, that being the soundtrack to Destiny. Spring 91 Bear for $2. Rest in peace, Davy Chase, gone too soon. Yes. For those of you who are not aware of this, the little voice actress for the original Lilo in Lilo and Stitch passed away at the age of 35. Very, very sad, very tragic. Apparently she was living on Skid Row at some point here within the recent past, but she also has millions in her bank account. So that's very tragic, and I can't help but wonder if the Hollywood machine was the ones that did that to her. I hope that she's resting now. So
yeah.
The first Dragon Queen for $5. I have my tools and ready to hunt. Don't worry, I'll save Pro from that jealous Jonas. The only way I can. Girl boss mode. Hugs for all. Jealousy. He asked me to do this. What did I do? I did take over, but
he did take over.
He handed me the reins before I took
It's
over.
not like he stole the keys or anything.
Right. And he did threaten that he was going to show up today. And I think things need to go well in order for that to not happen. Magical Girl Jonas for $2. Jonas, let's make today magically marvelous. Well, I am fighting evil by moonlight and winning love by daylight and never running from a real fight. For $2 more, hey, handsome, I greet you with the power of magic. I think that's targeted at you there, Culture.
I don't think so. I think that's aimed at you, fella.
By the way, I like how your logo is in front of your hat there. The words Culture Casino. It adds some dimensionality to your live streaming there. Looks good.
Okay.
Good job.
Said 3 dimensions.
And then for $2 more from the Guardian of Fluffy Tales and Anti-Gloom.
I know who this is.
I think I know who this is as well. And I'm not going to out them.
Oh, it's so nice. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. Hope you're having fun, bud. The FTM for $2. Jonas invaded the studio with Toy Story 5 Avatar. Is that? Thank you very much, FTM. Thank you very much to everybody. Now, let's welcome aboard a lovely and talented and brilliant person. I can't wait to have her on the show. I never get to hear her opinions as often as I like. And, well, if you want to know the answer on who that is, well.
Who could that be? Let's go see, boys and girls.
Who is it? It's Nat. Hey, Nat.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
How are you?
When I uploaded that clip, I had no idea how much of my life would be wasted waiting for Eddie Murphy to go up the stairs.
Hey, but I think it's great. It's appropriate. We needed to wait. Yeah.
No, I was excited to have Nat on here. That's
I know.
the
Thank you.
entire point of this here is to get Nat on because I see you're dressed a little differently today.
Yes.
You know, us Americans are not necessarily as up on what's important to the rest of the world. Mexico's got a game today, right?
Yes, against Korea. And right now, being in Mexico City, it is because a lot of the games are being played here. The first game was crazy, but also because Korea all played here, it became a huge thing, and Koreans became best friends with Mexicans. And now it's like the we're having to go against each other. So it's going to be interesting.
Awesome. And I hope the other Korea sees that and gets real jealous. Come on, guys. Come on. Get it together. Let's see here. Douglas Nutt for 2. Welcome to the WDW Jonas show. Yeah. I just need to address one thing before we get into stories. Please, Jonas, change your avatar back. Troy Gustavson's out there calling me fat again. That's fine. Jed, my friend here, Jed, is in support of this as well. Jonas is never going to change his avatar back. Maybe I lost the rights to the other avatar. Maybe it was a limited license. Ever think of that? Star Wars Nikki doesn't like it either. But that's fine. That's fine. You know, sometimes things change.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's the list of things that Pro says before anything we do on the first story? We've got a lot of items on the docket. We're gonna rock it, and we're gonna. Well, no, I think things are toned down with Mexico, so we don't need to bring up Crockett. And let's get to the first story. You know, every time a large movie gets put out by one of these big superhero studios, the eyes of the world are on a little thing called the press tour. And what do? They get all of these wonderful opinions from these Hollywood stars and starlets telling us what they think their movie is all about. They're put into a gauntlet of press people hoping to make their bones by putting the press versus Hollywood, or maybe they're working together to make them say the silliest things ever if you're hoping to market a multi-$100 million film to general audiences. Well, here we are again today with the story that just does not end. This time, it's for Supergirl, which is currently trending to open around the level of The Marvels, if you all remember Brie Larson's past life. Well, let's take a look at what Millie Alcock has to say when she's asked a very specific question about Supergirl and her representation as a queer icon.
Over the years, many fans have embraced Supergirl as a queer icon. What do you think is about Kara that inspires that kind of connection? I think...
All right. First of all, she's been set up with a question that should be an easy one to say, oh, I'm happy that everyone from every community loves my movie or my character, or what an honor to have people connect with her. That's not what she says, because obviously we've got a clip about it.
I've I played a few characters that might have a potential queer through line. I have many queer friends, so honestly, I'm kind of honored. I'm honored that that's happening. But
I'm just going to point out. I'm going to ask a question that's a little unkind. How socially lubricated do we think Millie Alcock is in this moment? She looks like she's at the end of a party being asked a question.
Yeah. And sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but no, I think she's partaken of the open bar.
I think so too. I think she's so happy to be asking that question. You're my best friend. You're my best friend. Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm going to tell you, Supergirl's like the queerest icon ever. She's the most icon of the queerest icons. You know.
And I've played many of them, according to her.
Yeah, and all my best friends are queer icons, and my barista's a queer icon. So let's keep going with this wonderful answer.
I think because she doesn't live inside the binary of what we think a woman should be, that is what makes her so special and so exciting and so new.
What is that statement? She doesn't exist inside the binary of what we think a woman should be. Nat, what do you think Millie Alcock could possibly mean by Supergirl doesn't exist in the binary of what we think a woman should be?
I don't think she knows what she means at all. I think those are just words that kind of popped into her head that are things that she knows she should say, and then she's just saying them. But it makes no sense because right now, this Supergirl or Superwoman exists exactly where Hollywood wants her to be. And that's the only option women have nowadays to be. You have to be a girl boss.
I think you're probably correct, but then we have this next statement, which I'm putting here, that makes it special, so exciting, and so new. This is so funny to me that they're both playing the idea of this is the only way it can be, but also they're breaking down barriers. This is something that we have seen.
Sounds like an AI.
It doesn't it? But I actually think the AI wouldn't contradict itself as openly at this point. I don't know. Can you program an AI to be a little tipsy? Culture, actually feel like you probably have the capability of answering that question, but I'm not going to ask you that specific question.
Yeah, please don't, because my jump was going to be uncomfortable and might have gone a political direction, but it's fine.
Looking at this again, I feel bad for Supergirl at this point as a property, not for Millie Alcock. She appears to be whoever is advising her on all of this. We said in the past that maybe this actress was getting into an area, Brie Larson of the past, Rachel Zegler, or Brie Larson. Oh, no, I already said Brie Larson. Ezra Miller, was he the Flash? But they don't have anything to take her away from the press tour like they did with Ezra Miller.
Yeah, well, I have to ask you. So, will this be better than Ezra?
I see what you're doing there. That's perfect. I think that Miss Alcock here is in a weird spot. She's been put in charge of a multi-$100 million movie. She's been probably prepped for the role and coached on why she needs to take the role and how this is an icon to women. But then she's also falling for the Hollywood line out here about everything being representation for something else. There's an interesting phenomenon in the community, the capital C community out there, or the alphabet community, if you want to say that, of projecting every struggle to be a gay allegory of some kind. So Supergirl, who I've never been aware of her being a gay icon in the past any more than anyone can go, oh yeah, gay icon, totally. Remember Lucasfilm had a panel in which they said that pretty much every Star Wars character represented drag in some way.
Well, I mean, diversity in dinosaurs. I mean, let's be honest.
Right. Tyrannosaurus Rex was a gay icon, obviously. I think that Millie Alcock is falling into this place where she thinks this is the way to market her movie, or she's gone off the reservation. Culture, Nat, is this something? Is this something where DC Studios is going off the reservation from Warner Brothers in general, or do we actually think that this is part of what they are intending to do to try to market a movie like Supergirl?
Well, I think it's been the playbook for so long. Maybe they don't know they should not be venturing there. Maybe they're not haven't learned still from every single other time they've done this and try to go out with this script and seen that it doesn't work for the men or for the women. And I think in general, at least in the US, we are seeing more of a pushback against it. But of course, the people that want to continue to push it to the forefront will do so without really thinking of the implications of what it could do to their movie, which we've already seen with Snow White and with the Marvel, every single other movie that has a woman in it.
And I agree with you early on in the conversation, Jonas. The media traps these poor people in these kinds of conversations, and they lay little booby traps along the way that they can step on, which she just stepped into, and then stepped into another one, and then stepped into another one. She's not had the right media training, and whoever, or if she hasn't had the right media trainer. These people need to go back and read Marshall McLuhan and understand that the best path forward is one that doesn't alienate your audience, and this is going to alienate a portion of the audience, and maybe, just maybe, that's what the media wants, to continue to push forward these ideas that have been shoved at the public around the world. But it's not in pursuit of profit, and I think that's the bigger problem here.
The interest. Go ahead.
No, sorry, it just really reminded me also of that Wicked moment when this journalist from, I don't remember what queer media, asked them a question about defying gravity holding space, and neither of them had any idea what it was about, and it became this whole thing because, again, they're asking them questions that they want answered a specific way so they can print it and continue with the narrative.
And just so everybody has a clear, let's say, statistical idea of how poorly this movie is doing currently, Supergirl this is from June 16th. Supergirl pre-sales are keeping a surprisingly good pace, on track for a $60 to $75 million domestic opening. The next few days will be very important to see how far it can go. CBMs are usually pre-sale heavy, so they rarely fail after a good pre-sales window. I don't think that's true as much as it used to be in the past. This is actually not that great.
It's also a lie because, I mean, if you look at a couple of the more reliable tracking models, this thing is aiming for 50 to 51 million at best, down to 45 million at its worst. So this is a misrepresentation of domestic box office, and this has been happening with global box office as the account, just not necessarily carrying forward what the real numbers are. So
yeah, that's a very good point here. So let's see here. Yeah, you do make a good point. I picked the wrong one here. Global box office is not the best one for this because they thought that Superman was going to do fantastic, and the Superman, even according to Netflix, who was buying Warner Brothers, thought that Superman underperformed. That's a movie that at the time I actually enjoyed.
Me too.
I did have some problems with it.
Me too. And look, let me just present this idea. If Supergirl opens to 50 million and it is able to, leg out a little bit, which it won't be because competition's very heavy after Supergirl releases with Minions and Monsters and all the other things that follow. Its best performance it can hope for at the domestic box office, 150 million on its full run.
Yeah,
domestic.
I'll throw one more aspect in here that Pro didn't ask for, but I'll bring it up anyways. We now have the trailer for Hexed, which is the new Disney animation, and I'm kind of at a loss for words on the lack of emotion I have while watching it. It's generally not impressive. The only thing I liked in it is the book. The design for the book is kind of interesting, although it seems like things I've seen in video games before. But we have yet another story of a woman who doesn't fit into the mold stepping into her power. And that is, it's just a very repetitive story. If we're going for universal stories, it's supposed to be that someone finds out that they maybe could have power and can develop it. That's a lot more interesting than what we've seen with Captain Marvel. All these men are holding you back. Mulan had the power inside of her all along. I'm of course talking about the live action Mulan.
Right.
Super Mario Galaxy being a non-example, since apparently Princess Peach is now a god. At the
Well,
end of that one,
this film Hexed is going to defy gravity, Jonas.
right?
I'm telling you.
Hex, which also takes place in the world of Hex, which that doesn't sound like a children's animated film to me. But what it does sound like is a potential gay icon. That's actually what that looks like to me.
I feel like it's going to be an acolyte to something.
Yeah. Nat, do you have anything you want to say to wrap us up on this one?
Well, it's also interesting because here I do kind of see what things are being promoted more and what aren't, especially when it comes to releases, because we still go to the movies a lot here in Mexico, and I haven't really seen much about this or anybody really talking about it or any hype around it. And it was similar, but a little bit less so with Superman. I mean, people were excited for Superman, but even the criticism did start before it released. And with this one, I'm also seeing more criticism or warnings again about, it's going to be another girl boss, she can do anything eventually movie. So I think internationally maybe it might be the same as in the US.
I think you're absolutely correct. There is that statistic that whenever they say the movie did well with Latinos, usually what they mean is Latinos always show up to the box office, and so they represent a baseline at the box office anyways, and then they'll take it as it's a great headline, diversity win, according to the I guess the white ethnocentric people out there in California.
Well, but
just because we're used to going to movies.
But right, but let me present something that my friend Paulie, Latino Slant, has always pointed out since I've been doing this over the last 6 years, and that's that the Latino audience often over-indexes at theaters because they still go out and forced to go see films. So, I mean, we're going to have to normalize that at some point and stop calling it over-indexing and just recognize that there are some groups of people who go to theaters more readily than others.
Right. So I'm calling it in 2 weeks. We're going to see that Supergirl, big hit with Latinos. All righty. I saw. I think Variety's trying to make Latine happen.
I called that out in the 6 Minute Daily today, Jonas. I'm going to tell you right now. I was like, "What is a Latine? Is that like a saltine? Is that like a different? It's
a French. It's a French Mexican. Yeah,
Latin. That word already exists.
Mags London, member for 10. Jonas is not fat; he's sturdy. Thank you very much. I appreciate that one.
Yeah.
The FTM for $2. Just messing with you, Jonas. Very distinguished. Hey, thank you very much. Nope, I forgot to put the headphones on at the start of the stream. I managed to get those.
Well, yeah, and you look better with the headphones. I'm not saying anything mean right now. I'm just saying, and not only that, my friend Jonas is robust. He's not sturdy.
Robust. Oh, perfect. That's gonna stick. Christian Coriejo for 5. What is the like to dislike ratio on Hexed and Shrek 5 teasers? I super chatted this during yesterday's That Park Place stream, but it got passed over.
Oh no.
They will have to be punished. I'm not sure.
Ooh.
Let's see. I don't know if I have the Hexed, sorry, not the Hexed, the dislike extension on this browser here. No, I don't have it here. Culture, do you happen to have that one?
I don't, because they disabled it with the last update to Chrome.
I see. So even if it's there, does that mean it's not going to be working?
Yeah, you get. In fact, you have to accept a whole new group of permissions in order to get it to even work on Brave, I think.
Oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not accepting any permissions.
Yeah, I don't. I barely give myself permissions. So
this is America. We accept no permissions. This country was founded on not accepting permissions.
That's right. Yeah.
So. I don't have an answer for you. Sorry, that was my filibustering to try to figure out. I don't know where the dislikes are. So, and Shrek 5, what's funny, Zendaya not in that one, essentially. I think her character might be in that, but her voice is not. And if you compare that to the Spider-Man trailer, what's really interesting is this is a version of Zendaya we have not seen in a Spider-Man before, where she's actually acting like she's his girlfriend, which has not happened in the first 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. In the first movie, she's pretending like she doesn't like him. In the second movie, they're not really together, and she's just discovering, or they're finally revealing that he's Spider-Man. And you finally get this great little moment here at the end of the film where this happens very rarely, that you have actual romance played straight in a Marvel, an MCU film. You know, you got this great kiss at the end of No Way Home, and then it's almost as if it was a promise. We're going to do something different. So I was a little disappointed that they were saying, no, we promise we'll get back to Ned Leeds and MJ, not Mary Jane, but MJ very soon. And I gotta say, I'm not really crazy about it. Have y'all seen the new trailer, by the way?
For Brand New Day.
Yeah.
It was brand not interested. Look, a lot of the good things that came from the last film, No Way Home, Tom Holland took it upon himself to help redesign the costume for Peter Parker's Spider-Man by stealing from Tobey Maguire's costume and Garfield's costume. He actually said that. He also now has in-wrist web shooters instead of making his own web fluid. So there's a lot of elements he just wanted to get from previous iterations of the character, and this evolution of the character, without his ability to control his own evolution, is an excuse to get that stuff in play. So I looked at the film as like, I thought I got rid of Zendaya. I'm disappointed, and of course he married her. That's a different.
Oh yeah,
story,
yeah, that's officially confirmed now that the two of them are married.
But
I put that right next to the Taylor Swift news notifications, in my events to keep up with that are important to someone.
Yeah, well, I have to do it, but anyway. But looking at it, I wasn't really excited to see this, and I think that the new version of the Hulk isn't as photorealistic and won't translate well in the film. I think it looks overblown and disgusting and more like Abomination than it does the Hulk.
Abomination, which is interesting. They actually did the Abomination physically, at least correct, but they did it in She-Hulk. So
yeah,
fascinating. Magical Girl Jonas is back for $2. The world needs less Supergirl and more Magical Girl. That's right.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with Magical Girl Jonas on
absolutely. You should start a channel. And no, actually don't do that. Tender Warrior 68 gifted 5 WDW Pro memberships. Okay, I'm going to do the thing that Pro says. StreamYard's going to do a thing and the other thing and and things are going to go away. Look at that. It did it. It did it again. I don't know what's wrong with this thing.
I feel Lauren and Apollo right now.
I do too. But where's the button? Who's got the button? Here it is. Thank you very much, Tender Warrior. Archer Merchant for 2. Some truths are universal, like woke is broke. Yes, an entire system based off of jealousy is broke. That's why Marxism can never last. It can only drain value. It does not create value in any way.
Yes.
Paula Vieter Gamer for 5. Wonderful panel. What's your take on the possibility of Fox buying Roku, becoming a real competitor to Disney? Is this a twist of irony? In which way? And yes. Culture.
I think we're going to be covering that story later in the show, so I'm not necessarily going to weigh too heavily on this. But I'll say not just a competitor, an actual content. Instead of being a content provider, they're going to be a distributor, and Disney's going to have to use them. So this is a lot of irony, heavy heaping, helping.
Right. The example that I gave on the Valiant Renegade show, well, one of his videos, was that Fox had the option of trying to build their own store in the mall to try to compete with Disney Plus, and if they did it for the same amount that Disney did, they would be paying $100 billion, or for $22 billion, they could just buy the mall itself. So that seems like pretty easy math to me. They took Bob Iger's money, well, Disney's money, and let's see, 70 billion and 22 billion. By the way, they bought Tubi for 440 million, so not even $500 million. And just on streaming, not counting the other assets of Roku, and that's a huge aspect of all of this, is the quote unquote other aspects of Roku. Just on the streaming on Roku channel and the streaming on Tubi.
And Howdy. You guys forgot Howdy.
I did forget about how. I think Roku channel probably absorbs that in there, but you may be correct. But 0.1% behind the March numbers for Disney's entire streaming apparatus, being Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN streaming.
Wow.
So, yeah, I do think it's ironic, but what it actually is the Murdochs are much smarter business people than Bob Iger.
Yeah, and now that Lachlan took over from his dad, you don't think all these machinations were in motion when they were like cleaning their dinner plates from those giant checks Disney had to serve up?
I mean, $70 billion. That's a lot of money. And overpaying for a media company is very fashionable these days, but I think Roku might actually be worth $22 billion. Nat, do you have any thoughts on this?
I was just gonna say Bob Iger is a weatherman, not a businessman.
Boom.
That was about it.
Boom.
Yeah, he is sticking his finger to the air to try to figure out what the smart thing is to do, and
yet it never comes.
Right.
I don't think he's sticking his finger in the air anymore, but I mean, maybe out on his yacht with Aunt Willow.
I think
But
he's still on that board, isn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, come on. They're going to be a lot of forces working against him going forward, because there are some people in that room that haven't made their bones yet with Disney that want money. And speaking of being antithetical to something, Iger is antithetical to money.
Mhm.
But regardless, I actually have the dislikes count up in the background for you.
Oh, yeah?
So,
Yeah?
yeah.
What do we got here?
This is from Walt Disney Animation Studios' version of the trailer. 37,000 up votes to 9,000 down votes. If you
There you
just are
go.
looking just at Brave browser, the raw like count is 1450 and the raw dislike count is 850. So it's running, 2 like it to 1 that don't like it. And the one that don't like it are the people that have been informed about Disney all along and know what they are.
The fascinating thing for me on Hext is even people that I would think would be predisposed to liking this for it being a witchy thing starring a girl who is just tan enough or just alphabet representing enough.
Did she have a septum ring?
I don't know, but she looks like she probably could have one. She does have several piercings. I'm not that I'm worried about her having several piercings, but she's supposed to be, I guess, a middle schooler. This just, there's nothing here. If you told me this was a DreamWorks film, I would pass on it. In fact, this reminds me a lot of Fantastic Island, but Fantastic Island just did this better a few months ago, and I said at the time, and when someone reached out to me to what do you mean by this? That Fantastic Island is signaling things that I don't appreciate, because it's 2 girls who are best friends doing witchy stuff, and there's a lot of I'm going to use the word bisexual lighting kind of things with the color palette. Now, I'm not saying that any of those things are in and of themselves a problem, but it's the mix of all of them together that makes you go, huh.
Yeah, and we've been calling this out for a while, and she does have purple hair in a middle school environment. This thing has 2.6 million views as of it being dropped 2 days ago. It's number 3 on the movie trending chart, and again, it only managed 37,000 people to say thumbs up. 2.3 million views, only 37,000 bothered to hit a thumbs up, only 9,000 bothered to hit a thumbs down. But that's a pretty rough ratio, regardless. So.
Well, maybe some of those viewers don't have thumbs and they're contracted by Disney.
Maybe. And then when you ask yourself this question, we're now at the point in the attention economy where we are tracking, or there are analytical firms that are tracking awareness versus interest. You can be aware of something and not be interested. That's something that Supergirl's suffering from. It's something that Motu suffered from. And then you have the fee versus free idea. All of this, coming out of an analytics firm that is more reputable and more likely to be correct than something like Parrot Analytics, which is, hey, people reacted to this, and whether it be positive or negative, we're going to say it's great. No.
Right. Well, I think they've actually kind of lost the audience on this. So the sentiment on X about Hexed is mostly not favorable. There isn't
Yeah.
anyone out there shouting about how this is finally representation. And I think it's the same problem as Supergirl, where they would like to say that they're treading new ground here, but this is yet another Disney pillar brand that, Star Wars did lesbian space witches. Marvel did superhero lesbian witches. Did Pixar do a witch thing? I forget if they did, but Disney Animation is now doing a witch thing, and Disney Kids and Family, formerly Disney Television Animation, they're also working on a teenage witch series right now. So it's one of these things. Like, is this a California thing that we're all just kind of witnessing from outside of that coastal bubble? There that witches are like a huge audience of some kind. There's also, and this is very in the weeds, there was a Disney television animation show called The Owl House, which had a rabid fan base, and it was always in my comment section on the Everything Woke series. You got to do The Owl House. I did check out The Owl House. It's kind of obvious what it is, so the more obvious it is that it is something that people would have a problem with, the less likely I feel like I need to do an Everything Woke. But I can see why fans of The Owl House, which was a teenage witch and LGBT show on Disney XD or Disney Channel or whatever, why those fans would have a frustration with Hexed, because whatever resources Disney was pushing towards that, they're now pushing towards this. So I don't know. It's all just kind of noise at this point. So if we go for the last 5 Disney movies to come out and what they made at the box office, Hoppers made about $388 million. Maybe that's enough for that to justify its existence. Probably not. Domestic only 166. Elio made 73. Zootopia, obviously huge. Moana 2, Hope mostly huge, and Inside Out mostly huge. But I don't see Hexed hitting those numbers unless they really come out with something stronger than this. And I just get the feeling families aren't going to show up for another witchy series or witchy product.
Yeah, I think Disney's fascination with the positives of witchcraft has kind of been their downfall across multiple different presentations of it, whether it be in Marvel or Star Wars or Pixar. I don't think the audience has received any of those very well, and I don't think they'll receive this very well. And look, I mean, the accounting that Disney does in order to hide their failures and their flops, like Snow White and other things like that, is they buy their own stuff from division to division. So DTC is buying the failure of all these things in theaters to the tune of 150 million, 100 million, just so they could claim break even, even though it didn't really. And then you're carrying a negative balance in the streaming area. Shang-Chi is an example of that, because I just did a video about it. But Shang-Chi lost $150 million. They offset that by having DTC buy it, and that's a dead period of time where Disney quarterly on DTC was losing between $360 and $600 million a quarter.
Mm-hmm. So. It's all moving $10 between one pocket and the other. Evil Ned for 10. Regarding the World Cup, the fans are amusing. Yes, they are. In Boston, the Scots drank the town dry.
They did.
Norwegians used the escalators in South Station as a longboat and rode to the second floor. So they outdrank the Bostonians.
They did. And emptied the town of booze.
3-1.
It was insane.
Well, that's a sobering day in Boston. That's amazing.
Well, for the local population, not so much for the folks visiting, but yeah.
That's amazing. Araxis for $2. Pro, your Jonas impression is impressive, but I gotta say, my Morgan Freeman is not as good as Jonas's. Araxis continues by gifting 10 WDW Pro memberships. Absolutely amazing. Okay, let me see if I hit this button. See, it did it again. It did it again. I don't know. How do I get this thing back to where it's supposed to be? There's a button somewhere. Here it is. And then this one.
neon glow we rise. Electric pulse it mesmerize.
All righty. Thank you very much, Araxis. And let's get to our next story. This one is pointing out the eternal box office struggle of the movies. You know, we talk about the box office a lot on these channels, and sometimes it's so refreshing after all of the naysayers say we're getting it wrong to finally hear from someone who is sympathetic to our cause. And while this person may be upset about how much the Scots drink in Boston, maybe he can come in here and help us out. Ben Affleck, that townie, breaks down why a $25 million movie has to make $100 million just to break even. This from Arslan here, and I think he's appearing on a podcast, so we'll give Arslan partial credit. You spend about the same amount to advertise the movie as you spend to make it. So you spend $25 million to make it, $25 million to advertise it. Now you've got $50 million into the movie. From the theaters, you get back roughly 50%. So if a movie makes $100 million, you get back $50 million. You've got to gross $100 million just in simple math. People now go, this movie looks good, but I'll wait, but I'll see it when it comes to streaming. But now let's hear it with his words in a slight Boston accent.
Well, if you were going to make a movie, forget even about like you forget about, Dwayne Johnson or some huge star like salary, just to shoot a movie that's, where there's a certain amount of like, you got your 40, 50 days of shooting and certain production, and it really varies. But like people will tell you now, like it's very, very difficult to make a movie for less than $25 million, right?
Yeah.
And 25, and it can go up very quickly as soon as you got a big stunt unit or big action stuff or visual effects. And here's the thing with theatrical, which is why it's very hard. Like you spend about the same amount that you spend on the movie to advertise the movie. So if you spend $25 million to make the movie, you $25 million to advertise the movie. So now you got $50 million into the movie. And from the movie theaters, you get back roughly 50%. So if a movie makes $100 million, you get back $50 million. So if you get back $50 million, that's you $25 million movie got to gross $100 million just in simple math. And there is a tail and there are secondary revenue streams, but that's one of the things that has made it really hard to get theatrical with that, and the fact that people now go, this movie looks good, but I'll see it when it comes on streaming, and so those two factors are really what's caused, why you see mostly the movies that come out in theaters are, Avengers. And
so it seems like Ben Affleck may be a little bit sour about those Avengers out there, and Cole Hauser out there in the chat pointing out the Ben Affleck problem. Hey, I already feel bad for the guy. He's been fooled into marrying Jennifer Lopez 2, maybe 3 times, so I'm going to go easy on him. Affleck is a person that is very familiar with the movie business. He's been both an indie filmmaker, a big filmmaker. He's also been Batman. Debatable that he's been Batman, but he has technically been Batman for a little while here. And he's talking about the age-old problem that we talk about constantly here is movies need to double. Actually, in this case, he's saying it needs to quadruple its production budget in order to make their money back. And this is on the heels of a great report from Christian Silt, who is a great partner with Caroline Reed, releasing that Jurassic World Dominion has topped The Force Awakens as the most expensive film of all time. I've seen some pushback on that. It's interesting to see pushback on that since these are coming from official UK documents. But if a movie costs $600 million to make, you would have to make $2.2 billion at the box office in order to be profitable, to the point where you have to wonder why make a movie at all. And Avengers at this point, and Affleck rightly points out Avengers, leaving out Batman versus Superman and Justice League and all the movies that he participated in with the DC Extended Universe. But now we've got Avengers Doomsday, Avengers Secret Wars, and potentially, probably, maybe Avengers Forever, Avengers Infinity War 3, or whatever, Avengers Civil War. that might be coming as a third movie in that trilogy. Pure speculation on my part. How is it that a movie studio can justify $600 million before marketing on a movie at this point? Nat, culture?
And I mean, can they? That's the thing. People aren't. Is it worth it even for them? Because people aren't, and we're not really seeing. I mean, I don't see where they're spending that money when we go to see these movies, and I think the audience is starting to feel that as well, and that's why it's, oh, I'll wait till streaming, because I mean, what really is the point? And yet the studios continue to throw this much money behind it, and then this much marketing as well, because there's already that disappointment from the audience from the get-go, so they have to market it even more.
No, that's very insightful. The I actually left something off of my math on Avengers Doomsday here. Culture, if it's a $600 million movie, and let's say they go low with $100 million marketing budget. No, actually, maybe let's say a $200 million marketing budget for Avengers Doomsday, because at this point they see the sunk cost. They know everybody's eyes are on this picture. They've released figures saying just how much Robert Downey Jr. and the Russo brothers are making. So if we use that napkin math and do 4 times $800 million, culture, this movie would need to just Doomsday would need to make $3.2 billion at the box office in order to break even. If we go with Ben Affleck's math here.
And I'm uncomfortable with that math in this particular situation.
Me too, but wow.
That's a lot of money. But look, I mean, the rinse of soybeans after its net production or net spend was still $489.9 million. That's a film that, arguably lost money, which Forbes reported. Again, Caroline Reed and the team she's working with over there at least is telling the truth. When it comes to that. And here's another thing people never figure in, because it's never publicized unless you, of course, get the company's records from the UK, from Company's House, is that there is interest being paid on money borrowed if you delay a film in its release. Avengers Doomsday was delayed.
The 440 that you said, that's 440 million pounds.
489.9 million.
Yeah, I think it depends on your when you translate the poundage on that one.
Possibly. Yeah.
So Carbonado Industries is the entity they had over here. The last time I calculated, I had it 590 million USD.
That was gross spend. It was 493.7 million.
Right, and then not counting however much they marketed.
103.8 million in UK tax rebate.
Yeah. So we have companies spending an irresponsible amount of money on these movies, to the point where they're basically business ventures on their own. That's like it's almost as if they're spending enough money to launch an entire new division of a company. Like, again, Tubi was purchased for $440 million.
Yeah.
And it represents an entire chunk of the streaming market right now.
Like 2.5%.
Yeah.
It's like a decent chunk. And then you add that in with Roku Channel and Howdy and everything else, and you're already up there with Disney. Not to mention the fact that you have all the other stuff we talked about with the Roku deal. But beyond all that, this is an irresponsible spend on films. And I think I agree with Ben Affleck on that. It's you have to spend an exorbitant amount of money. And it comes down to the mechanisms of Hollywood, which is why I made the video I made today, which is the mechanisms of Hollywood are grossly controlled by communist-oriented union groups and by overregulation in the state of California that makes it incredibly expensive to produce things there, which is why countries like the UK offer a massive incentive structure. We're seeing more of it in other countries like Mexico. Obviously, we've already seen it in Canada. And, these incentives are pulling production starts out of California specifically. But it's not like they're going to make enough money to even replace what they get in tax incentives, because they're spending so irresponsibly. That's, I guess, my whole point. So
no, I agree. This is an untenable model at this point. So if someone were to make a $25 million movie outside of the studio system, you get guys like Markiplier who make A movie like Iron Lung, I don't know the full story of how he tried to do that, if he tried to do it in the studio system or if he just, again, did it on his own. He's keeping most of that money, and in some way, it's very scrappy for him to release that into theaters on his own, to where it literally just has his name as the distributor of the film, and it may be like His Name Productions or Markiplier Productions or something like that. But looking at all of this, the people who are actually making money on a movie like Avengers Doomsday, let's forget about what this is doing as far as the Disney stock price, right? Forget about the idea of what part of this is performative for Wall Street here. We look at something that costs that much money. Everyone besides Disney has the possibility of making money. You've got the cast themselves with Robert Downey Jr. You get the directors, you get whoever is making money on the production side, and then you've got the toy makers, whether or not they have a good enough deal that they're not going to eat that product if it doesn't sell. I think you're right. It's the unions. It's everybody else. There was a brisk trade in people covering the Acolyte. In fact, more people on YouTube made money from the Acolyte than Disney ever made from it.
Yep.
I'm going to point out there's a story from Xbox. Sadia Nutella. Sorry, his name is probably not Nutella. Nadella is probably his last name. He's not a hazelnut paste. He said that Xbox content on YouTube makes more money than the Xbox division at Microsoft does. So the outside people are making more money than the actual makers of these films. And then you get someone like Ben Affleck. Well, that's an unfortunate screenshot. Here, let's go for that one. You get someone like Ben Affleck who has to do Dunkin' Donuts commercials every Super Bowl to make ends meet in order to make his alimony payments. I don't know who's actually making money in the movie industry if all they're focused on is superheroes and humongous spectacle. Nat, what do you think the next step is for Hollywood? Do they keep going down this path? Do they lower the budgets on superhero films, or do they need something else to fill in the gap for theaters?
I mean, we are seeing, we are, and always on this channel as well, we talk about AI and the ability and possibility that people might have to produce their own things in a cheaper, faster way as well. So they have that threat already looming. But I think because they've built the system to be as, in a way, bloated, not saying that nobody's needed or that there's, but there is too much money being wasted in things that I think could be cut back. But because that's the way it works and it benefits certain people that they don't want to stop benefiting, then it's just going to continue until, or if they ever do realize that nobody is interested, nobody cares, and they're just wasting money and continue to lose it. But it's also losing opportunities for filmmakers and creators that could be getting even a little bit, a tiny percentage of that to create something that a lot of people would be interested in. Like you were mentioning, people on YouTube, people on others using the certain things, or the Xbox creators, etc., are able and understand the audiences a lot better, and then how to use the IPs they already have better than the companies themselves, because they've been too focused on the whole money, doing it the same way we've always done it aspect.
Mm-hmm. I think at the end, it's the corporatism of all of this that has made it to where it fails. I wonder if the established systems have to be torn down in order for all of this to change. I remember George Lucas talking about how much he hated the distribution model of businesses, of the movie business, and how much he wishes he could have done something else. I wonder who the next George Lucas is going to be. Probably not going to be Ben Affleck. I don't mean to give Ben Affleck such a hard time, but every now and then he talks about the movie business, and it's funny, talking about how dangerous AI is. And by the way, everyone come work with my AI company kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah, I mean, James Cameron can be accused of being guilty of the same thing. So it's just, he invites the criticism on himself. So.
Well, the best
I'm
thing
a-
about James Cameron is whenever you're in the room with James Cameron, there's at least 3 people in it. 1 is you, 2 is James Cameron, 3 is James Cameron's biggest fan.
Wow, probably true. I do know this, that Iron Lung really did a really fabulous job of enriching a creator to the tune of
Mhm.
about $20 million in his pocket. So, even if it did end up with a total spend of about 7.5 million, he did pretty well.
Mhm.
He did pretty well.
Binkan, Jonas, apparently the rumors to the main protagonist of Hex falls in love with a boy voiced by Gaten Matarazzo. Well, good. I hope they have a great life together. Hey, Cole Hauser, good to see you, man. Days of Lucas and Spielberg are gone forever and will never be replicated. I don't know. I have some hope for these YouTube people who are now saying they're not YouTube people.
Or if that was weird, I'm like, dude, own it. Curry, come on. I mean, you don't run away from what made you successful in the first place, because that's your marketing platform, and that's what Markiplier leaned into. He had bare bones marketing for Iron Lung. He used YouTube to his advantage because he had a following already.
Well, I would say for him it was probably a big deal for him, but not bare bones bare bones as far as Hollywood is concerned.
Right?
Big for him. Rough Knight, who I always love Rough Knight's opinions. What's fascinating is that they're willing to take a financial risk, putting all their resources into a single film, but totally risk averse in terms of story and creative content.
Boom.
That's right here. I'm reminded of a line from The Simpsons where Krusty makes his own cereal, and he says, "With special ingredients too hot for the FDA." At some point, Disney stopped making movies and just started making product and content being the equivalent word of corporate product. And I'm annoyed by it at this point, because you follow Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. There's actually some through lines of some interesting symbolism there and subtext. And, it still is a movie about a guy who builds a robot suit that can shoot repulsor blasts and fight other people in robot suits, but there's also some pathos in there,
But it started with a creative company. It started with Paramount. See, we have to remember that it didn't become Disney until later. It started at Paramount, became Disney later.
I mean, it was pretty much Disney by the end of Captain America: First Avenger.
True, but again, I mean, if you have those old discs, you can still enjoy Paramount in front of the film.
Oh yeah. I wonder if they're still. Did they finally take the Paramount logo off the Disney Plus versions?
Oh, I imagine on the box sets, especially.
And I'm just going to say, I want Cole Hauser to get his G.I. Joe movie. It
Me
would
too. A good
definitely
one.
be better than Retaliation. So.
Oh yes, please.
All right, Ryan Charlton for $10. If I remember correctly, even Hocus Pocus 2 didn't do that well, and the first one was actually pretty good. I think Disney is trying too hard and can't figure out how to fix it now. Hocus Pocus 2 went straight to streaming and outperformed a lot of stuff on Disney streaming. Now, that's a very low bar to clear, but for streaming, Hocus Pocus 2 did well for Disney Plus. So,
and that was pure nostalgia. They were hanging on that nostalgia.
Yeah, I mean, and even on Rotten Tomatoes, it only had 65%, so it wasn't exactly stellar. They say that's certified fresh with a D plus, but I mean, that's a straight. As far as I'm concerned, you're not getting a good GPA. So, and Disney hasn't had a good GPA with anything for a long time.
Nope. Gone are the days of a Napoleon Dynamite being made for $3.50 in a Subway coupon and then lighting it up at the box office. Gilliam 2 is here, and Gilliam 2 has gifted 5 WDW Pro memberships. And I just want to say,
God dang it, from the bottom of our hearts here on the WDW Pro channel, thank you.
irate specialist for $2 American. Jonas, you'll grow into your weight. Don't worry. It's the growing that's the problem.
Why is everybody being so mean to you? I don't understand.
It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Hurt people. That's fine. Ryer Gotter, member 34 months. Hex is more modern Pixar millennial women therapy. Yes,
Yeah.
I would put Hext right next to Turning Red.
Who was it that recently said at Pixar that we're not here to provide millions of dollars in therapy? It was a Disney person.
It was Pete Docter, actually.
Yeah, Pete's a pretty bright guy. So how did this get through the cracks?
Yep. Man, Cole Hauser, we should have you on the panel today. In the
He's
80s,
great.
you can guarantee 15 movies in the top 20 that people can enjoy. That is gone, dude. So this is something that comes up on the Monday Hangover all the time. If we ever put up the list of top movies, sometimes there'll be a fluke year that it's not a hot year for this. But if you look at the top 20, generally 18 of those 20 are things that currently they are making reboots, sequels, remakes of right now.
Because they don't have any original ideas, and those things were successful, right, Nat?
And back then they were doing things they wanted to do. They were stories that people wanted to tell. Now they're doing stories that they think people want because they liked that one before. But we're tired of those. We want new ones, and they're not letting the new ones come out.
Well, Jonas, this is a function of the elevator pitch, right?
Mhm.
It's like what can I compare this to? I'm sure Nat can agree. What can I compare this to that'll make you want to make this movie or this television show? Well, this is kind of like Dexter, as you know, but not really. This is it's a woman, a strong, powerful woman that's basically Dexter, but has this this emotional twist and is definitely the good guy in this show. So whatever.
I'll throw one in here. They're currently working on a Cape Fear remake.
Why?
I don't know. What else do they do? I think they did Basic Instinct. Like now the idea seems to be, well, let's do a TV series of a thriller movie instead of doing a reboot of the movie. I'm kind of surprised that Roadhouse, actually, I do think Roadhouse would be an interesting one for a series. Obviously, Patrick Swayze, may he rest in peace. I actually do think a Roadhouse series could be a great procedural of calling in Dalton, to fix another situation, because he is a fixer. But instead, they do a streaming movie. I didn't watch the Doug Liman, Jake Gyllenhaal one. I don't know. It could be horrible, but
it was rough. And I'm going to say this: I'd rather have MacGyver if you want to have a weekly fix it guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, apparently we got to stay away from the Richard Dean Anderson ones because they kicked all the Stargate people out at Amazon. But
oh my gosh, what a disaster, Jonas! Why would you do that? You have everybody there, including the writers, and you're saying no to something that fans want. That's dumb.
With our next topic, I'm actually really looking forward to hearing Nat's opinions on it because it's global and it's on policy, and it's I think it's just perfect for Nat. This one out of Pirate Nation and 4chan. 4chan's lawyer says the UK government doesn't understand the internet and has given Ofcom an impossible task by trying to enforce British online safety rules on US-based platforms. Preston Byrne, who represents 4chan, argued that the site is protected by the First Amendment and doesn't have to comply with UK demands. The UK just isn't getting the memo that the United States has a different system and we do things in a different way. We also claimed Parliament misunderstood how the internet works. He also, claimed the Parliament doesn't understand how the internet works and set Ofcom up with a mission it can't realistically enforce. Ofcom fined 4chan £520,000 under the Online Safety Act for failing to implement age checks and other safety measures. 4chan has refused to pay. This is via LBC, which I don't see a link to LBC here, but there he is, the Karen-in-chief over there, or sorry, what is it, Minister of Karening over there, Prime Karen? What are we mocking the UK government with today here? But Keir Starmer is over there, and 4chan is saying, no, that is not how this works. That's not how any of this works. And Keir Starmer is, definitely not a charmer, trying to force all social media platforms that he disagrees with into banning 16-year-olds. But Blue Sky is fine. Nat, what are your opinions here on this situation? Is this something that is at all enforceable? Why does the UK think that they get to make the rules for the entire internet globally here and eventually interplanetary with Elon Musk? What do you think they're thinking in the UK?
Well, the worrying thing, and if anybody here is Canadian, you'll know that Bill C9 and a bunch of other bills are being rammed through as well that is basically the exact same thing. And we're seeing this coalescing of several different countries and powers doing very similar laws, the whole under 16 ban. But again, it's never they always use the excuse, oh, we're protecting children, but it really is to have that registry and be able to see and to go after those that can criticize them. And we just had a story yesterday about fans not being able to chant a certain thing in the stadiums when they're cheering for England. So Starmer is trying to essentially control everybody and the discourse of everybody and not against his government, even in the US currently in the World Cup with fans that are there presently and having FIFA having to police also the flags, for example. So it's a much broader issue, but I think it goes far beyond just the protecting children thing. And I think it's more of a concise push to go after, in a way, American companies and the freedom of speech that is enforced in the still kind of in the US and still protected in the US, and being able to, so they can all say, no, in all of these countries now you have to monitor and to regulate the way we are telling you to, even though you're a US company. So in a way, I see it as a hit against the US themselves, yourselves.
I think Americans should stop investing as businesses, as corporations should stop investing outside the United States until this nonsense is resolved. Because you should not have undue influence over another country's, laws and rulings. If so, I mean, the U.S. should start imposing their freedom of speech on every other nation we do business with. And while most of the Western world agreed up until recently that free speech was essential for any form of democratic process, Canada and the EU and the UK are all proving otherwise recently. So we need to find financial ways to change people's opinions. I think not not allowing for investment in countries where free speech and the lack of democratic practices are found, I think that would change things. Maybe I'm taking too harsh a view.
It's interesting. I'm going to take probably the least popular viewpoint here, but on some level, it is okay to ban underage people from accessing certain things on the internet. But the problem is the mechanisms to do that end up affecting everyone on the internet. And I'm just going to flat out say it. Parents should be legally given the tools that they can ban their own children from viewing things on the internet, instead of saying the UK government is going to act as the parent on your behalf. Because I'm just going to say the UK government or some government employee or some dude that's elected to a country that I have nothing to do with should not be able to control what I access on the internet or what anyone over here accesses on the internet.
Yeah, I've stopped going to sites that are trying to get identity information on me. Just stopped outright using them. I don't need them. And I'm going to say it this way, Jonas, you already have the parental controls on all of these various things that he's objecting to. The parental controls exist. So this is as Nat was pointing out, and I agree with fully, this has nothing to do with protecting the children. That's the dog whistle. It's the authoritarianism to control speech because they can't get it any other way. And this is unfortunately the way Canada's been doing business forever. The EU's been doing business forever, and the WEF has been, championing for the better part of 15 years.
We also see it concurrently in the fact that in the UK and Canada as well, they're starting to push for this as well, is taking away parental rights that would allow you to control what your own kid sees. And they're taking away the ability to homeschool. For example, in the UK, they want to stop parents being able to homeschool their own children, and yet they want to take over and use children as an excuse to go after people's speech and being able to criticize their governments, which again is what builds a healthy democracy. So we are seeing them move away from the true reality of what democracy is, and yet they say that they're doing this specifically because they want to safeguard the democratic process and etc. And at the same time, for example, in the UK, they're also saying they want 16-year-olds to be able to vote, but they want to lower the age of the required age for voting. But at the same time, they want them to only consult the sources, the mainstream media sources and the mainstream news sources. And the minister just came out to say that the other day.
It's a funny thing. They've found the way to pull on people's heartstrings. And I think they thought for a very long time that they were going to go for the next wave of the alphabet community, the LGBTQIA2LSS, whatever the full acronym is, and then plus and eventually P and all that mess. That they thought that was the way that they were going to push authoritarianism. So they're piggybacking on a movement that they think that they have favor for. So now they've switched the language to children. Never mind that they're allowing blue sky, which is disgusting. When I've gone over there, the things that you're allowed to see on blue sky, that I'm going to say that's a hard pass for me or anyone that I have any interest in their well-being. They should not be on blue sky for anything other than academic reasons. So I think I don't know, was the UK one of those places where they were superseding parents' rights on things like whether or not children had the right, that they were interceding on quote unquote on behalf of children to allow certain procedures and things like that? It's an interesting thing watching of all countries between Russia, China, and Britain, for Britain to be this Western-skinned version of a very Orwellian, very dystopian country here. They got cameras all over the place over there. The poverty line is lower in the UK than it is in any state in the United States. The last time I checked, culture, am I off on that? Are they making more money than everybody down in Mississippi per capita?
I don't know. I'd have to check on that.
Yeah. It's pretty low over there, honestly. So when you look at the poverty figures in the United States, in like Appalachia and Mississippi, it's comparable to what they've got over in the UK. I guess you just got they got to keep all that money in the budget for powdered wigs or some junk.
Well, and I mean, that's why they're all complaining about Elon Musk's, supposed payday. You only get the payday when you sell. You don't get the payday in its, unrealized form. So yes, Elon Musk is essentially a global economy by himself, unto himself, but only if he cashes in.
Right.
He's not going to do that.
So you get these people who have no skin in the game, who will never have to see the consequences of their own actions, trying to dictate to everyone else. And then you get a site like 4chan that does everything for the lulz, and they say, "Nah, we're good. We're not gonna follow your silly little rules. You are a silly place." So I think it'll be interesting to see how this all develops, because there is no Supreme Court for international civil matters to go to. And I wonder if the U.S. government would ever intervene in something like this. And if it does get to the point within the next few years that the U.S. government has to intervene, I'm going to say that's not going to go the UK's way, no matter what is on 4chan. So that being said, it'll be interesting to see how that develops. Wow, Jonas Campbell's a real jerk to the Deep South. You know how you can insult the people that you are. So I grew up in the South, and I'm talking about generalized poverty line statistics. Appalachia, I got family in Appalachia. I have clients in Appalachia, and I have family that are in the South, the American South, the God's country, as I like to refer to it. Talking about money. We're not talking about class. Generic brunette for $2. I like me a husky man with dulcet tones, Jonas. Well, thank you very much, generic brunette. I generically am flattered. Packing protons for $5. Jonas has sent Pro to Wilton's oven and taken over. It was a gingerbread house, and we put some coffee brewing. He walked right in. I don't think he's noticed the coffee is inside the oven.
Wow.
Let's see here. Packing protons for $5. Nat, with half the world coming to New Jersey, I've been told most women at soccer games are apparently already married. Do any single ones go? Nat, do you know whether or not women visiting New Jersey happen to be single for protons?
I don't know in New Jersey. Here in Mexico City, yes, because we have that big soccer culture. I'm married myself, so I wouldn't know, and I haven't been to any games because they're very expensive. But in the countries where soccer is big, there is a big interest from just everybody, and from single women as well, and single ladies. But I would say, I don't know in the U.S. And in the U.S., I think it's a specific demographic sometimes from the alphabet community that are the only ones interested in soccer, especially women's soccer. But
I need to ask you something, Nat, because you would know. Why are because I think your government was like protesting the expense of the tickets for the World Cup in your part of North America. Or did I mishear or understand?
I mean, the two governments, Canada and Mexico, they're both complaining about the price of tickets. Here in Mexico, they are very, very expensive comparatively to even Canada, which was crazy. But they're also doing it as a show of, I wouldn't say force, but like as a show of ideology, because we have a very left-leaning government right now. So they went against FIFA to say, oh, they're too expensive and the people themselves can't get it. But it's comparatively also really high elsewhere in the US and Canada. Just in general, they're very high. But they're doing it to make a point against FIFA.
Well, I mean, yeah. Like you said, I mean, it feels like scalping to me by the organization itself. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of FIFA either, but yeah. And in Toronto, it's insane too.
Let's see here. John Maynard for $5. We're seeing this as a way to squash religious freedoms. It is where free speech comes from, not the government. That's right, because in America, it was very specific that they're God-given, inalienable rights. If they're given by God, it's not the government licensing it, which when a government licenses something to you, it means they've taken away one of your freedoms and then sold it back to you for a price or a fee or whatever. Free speech is not a license. Free speech is a right. So God bless America. Weans in Tennessee is behind you, Jonas. Well, thank you very much. I thank you rightly. You need to go out for some grits, yellow grits, one of these days. We got one more story here that I want to cover, and it's an interesting one. It's a game story, but I still think this is going to be a panel that is fully capable of covering such a 8-bit topic. For this one, we're going to Insider Gaming. Bungie is set to lose roughly 400 staff in summer layoffs, it is claimed. Following the sunsetting of Destiny 2 and the generally underwhelming performance of Marathon, it seems that Bungie is set for a wave of layoffs this summer with at least 50% of its workforce on the chopping block. The percentage is significant enough as is, but when you consider the size and scope of Bungie, which has around 800 staff members, that would mean at least 400 employees are at risk of losing their jobs. Before going any further, consider Bungie on track for major layoffs. The news comes from French journalist Sylvain on X, who shared in a recent tweet that Bungie should expect massive layoffs this summer, but went on to elaborate that based on what he's hearing, at least 50% will be affected. So Marathon right now is the big game at Bungie. It was one of the original titles at Bungie before they were bought by Microsoft back before Halo. I've had the pleasure of doing some deep dives with people who were there at Bungie back in the day. Marathon was actually, if I understand it, more of a Mac game. Back in the day when Bungie was heavily associated with the Apple ecosystems. And then they left when they were bought by Microsoft and integrated into Xbox. Obviously, you have Halo, one of the biggest games that has ever come out. Obviously, a system seller for Xbox. And at some point, Bungie gets bought by PlayStation Studios, Sony, and now we have Destiny 2 has announced its last update ever, and then you have nothing. They have Marathon. They're trying to make Marathon work, which now Marathon is apparently a large multiplayer online battler. I have no interest in it whatsoever, but I think what would be of interest to this panel is the downgrade of brands like Halo, which were Bungie mainstays for a very long time. This is the tweet from 2020. Seems so long ago, but also like it could be today. As we continue to foster a more diverse and inclusive community, we've updated the MCC to include Pride nameplates, brought back our Black History Month nameplate, and have released Halo-themed Pride emblems for use online. There's been some version of this every single June out from Halo, even as companies have risen to the cause here over the last few years, or as things have faded. We see Pride Month is kind of not the not the stylish thing that it used to be in the past. Not as many companies changing their entire logos in the holy month of June. But for some reason, we see sports teams, even the Nashville Predators, who got rightly owned for doing a Pride version of their logo. Even NFL teams and hockey leagues are doing their Pride logos. And for some reason, Xbox itself not doing Pride logos, but Halo, which used to be a Bungie brand, they do Pride logos and Pride skins on these killer soldiers every single Pride month. Do you think this has anything to do with Bungie now set to lose half of its staff? Or is this a different problem? Culture? You want to weigh in first on this one, since you're probably closer to games than Nat? I'd love to hear Nat's thoughts on the general cultural environment.
Well, I mean, you're using the right word, culture. The culture at Halo is substantially different than what it is of the gamers. The alignment of culture has been broken. Gamers had a particular gaming culture. They've appreciated the overblown muscles of the guys and the figures of the ladies, and they haven't appreciated the insertion of a lot of political nonsense, which a lot of gamers would probably say that this is. When you start to see games start to fail, there's a reason for it. They don't feel the same. They don't look the same. They don't play the same. Marathon became a victim of its culture, the culture of the makers of the game. This is a problem in all gaming studios. Most gaming studios right now, major gaming studios, are suffering from this. I have a feeling that once Rockstar over at 2K Games, or whatever they're called now, once that's released, GTA 6 makes it into the marketplace, I have a feeling they're going to have mass layoffs as well to avoid paying bonuses and other things like that. The game is selling for $80 in pre-sales right now, but or I guess on the 25th. But Marathon lost 83% of its active player base over the course of a few months. They're not coming back. The player drop off in retention rates for games like that, including Destiny and other things. Again, it's the culture with which it's produced. It's the toxic culture that exists within these organizations that pushes these kinds of messages. But it's not just relegated to gaming, and I'm sure Nat will agree with that.
Go ahead, Nat.
Well, no, I was going to say it's exactly not just in gaming, and I would say it's something we see reflected everywhere when we've seen the capture of these essentially institutions, but also workplaces and places that make things, movie studios, game studios. It's the capture of the very small minority that then continue to bring in more and more of, in a way, their people, and instead of making the game better or the movie better or the game better or whatever better, they focus on this whole, I want to be represented and I want to represent this teeny tiny minority, while ignoring the gaming culture and the gamers themselves and the people that are already invested, because they don't matter anymore. What matters is me. And again, it comes through this lens of victimhood, and I want to tell my stories that the only important person in the world is me. So we will lose money even, but we have to be represented because we have now captured these institutions or these companies.
The other problem that I'm seeing here is the massive investments that they're making. The current game from Bungie is Marathon. Yep. And Marathon is trying everything that it can in order to, or Bungie is trying to get everyone to adopt Marathon, and Marathon went free to play for an entire week. There was a whole mess up where they basically offered the game for free, and then the deluxe edition, they offered it for $15, but it turns out the people who bought the deluxe edition, what they were actually buying was the add-on, so they didn't have the base game once the Prime period ended. So just to give a clear idea of what was going on here. Let's see this one. Let's go to Pirate Nation from just a few days ago, about 10 days ago. In fact, Destiny 2 reaches 167,000 concurrent players on Steam for its final update completely obliterating Marathon, which
Oh
had
yeah.
18,000
Yep.
players
Yep.
and 25,000 at the peak. So this is something where they're trying to force a product that nobody wants, and they've canceled Destiny 2. They have decided they are not going to update this game, which, by the way, Destiny 2, Destiny and Destiny 2 have the soundtrack from Marty O'Donnell and Mike
Yeah.
Salvatore, great composers who I'm going to say O'Donnell is running for Congress out there in Nevada. He's based in Nevada in multiple senses of the word. But he was no longer welcome at Bungie after a while. I have to wonder if that's a cultural problem after that studio went corporate and then was owned by Sony, which I do believe suffers from some of the same issues here. You have an instance where the fans are being given what they want and they like it. And they're trying to say, no, you will like this. In fact, they're cutting off their nose to spite their face by canceling Destiny and no plans for Destiny 3 as they try to make Marathon work.
Okay, let me tell you why Marathon's so bad. It caused Sony to take a massive impairment charge, $765 million. It was part of that massive impairment charge recently. This is a problem. It fell very far short of what the sales expectations were. They only sold 1.5 million copies versus the 4 million that they told the investors they would reach easily to achieve profitability. This again, when you start to dive into the game stuff, it's all culture, and the culture at Sony is toxic and destructive, but Xbox's is worse. I mean, look at the pending layoffs at Xbox. I mean, if we want to compare apples to apples, Xbox might not be, it's going to be 50% of what it was by the end of this year. It might not be around in any significant way by the time we get into 2027.
Well, you know what's interesting is Xbox right now. There may be something going on at Xbox that could free that from Microsoft, which is funny. Of all the things, the acquisition of Bungie at the start of Xbox and Microsoft going on this endless purchase spree of item after item, and for a little while there, Activision Blizzard was used to subsidize every other division within Xbox. And by the way, for those of you who may be doubting, yes, there are Pride skins yet again this year. I think that Xbox has a chance of becoming something that could be profitable if they can get out from under Microsoft. But if they just end up answering to the same institutional shareholders outside of Microsoft, I don't know. They may have a chance if they say we want to be profitable on our own. I don't know if Xbox will be leaving with all of the assets that Microsoft has bought in order to prop up Xbox at the same time if they did spin off. And again, none of this is for sure at this point. This is speculation. It's speculation in business journals for one, but it is speculation. If you actually had this going off on its own and having to work on its own and having to market on its own, I think that would be the best for the company, because it would be forced to market directly to players and say, what do players want? We're going to do that. What do players not want? We're not going to do that. It's the same thing that I've said for years about Disney. If Universal Studios had the rights to Star Wars in their theme parks, you would see a completely different thing from Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, yeah.
You would see the things that are definitely going to bring people in. But instead, because Star Wars is a division within Disney, you can call it a studio, I don't care. It's a division within Disney. All of a sudden, you have this corporate overlord that is saying, no, well, see, the theme park land needs to serve the movie division and the movies need to serve the theme park land. We're going to need the BDX droid to show up in your droid games. And because we want to have this highlight thing about how the theme parks are so great that they're affecting the movies now. You know, this thing where no one wants to be accountable for anything. And I think that Halo, being the cash cow that it was for Xbox, has become the victim of corporate overlords coming in and saying, oh, we're going to fix this for you. In fact, we're gonna bring you, we're gonna sit you down with the HR department, and we're gonna make this to where everybody loves it now. And so when everybody loves it, I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people hate it.
Well, and it wasn't that demonstrated in Paramount Minus's Halo series.
Yeah. Oh my, that I noped out on that one 2 episodes in. Nat, it sounded like you were about to say something.
Sorry, Nat.
Well, no, I was going to say that we went from the studios or the creators or whatever, the institutions making things just for money, to now they're not even doing that. They're just making things for ideology and for ideological reasons, which makes everything even worse. Instead of listening, once again, to the majority of the fans that would consume your product, you want to go and target the minority of the fans just because that is what you're a part of and you managed to get in through the door, and then started changing everything.
Yep. I think that's a perfect way to close this up here. People need to make money by selling people what they want. Hey, Xbox. Hey, well, it's not even Bungie at this point. 343 Studios. Make a great Halo game. Bungie probably needs to get working on Destiny 3 right now, because it sounds like Marathon ain't it. It's always funny to me when they put the representation flags on armor and guns, like Call of Duty literally having the that one flag imprinted on bullets, and I'm like, you guys, this is a little too on the nose, don't you think? Don't you think? Here we are. Before we wrap up this show here, yes, we are wrapping up early today. This was always the plan, folks. The first Dragon Queen for $5. I may have saved my trip. In the meantime, I got some large help to save Pro from evil Jonas. Is that some kind of beast that is protecting Pro from me in your avatar there, first Dragon Queen?
Well, I mean, and she made sure I had a challenger evil sesame seed man, so I wouldn't be surprised if she found one for you.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, yeah, that I am a very intimidating person. I'm told. I am aware of the effect that I have on women. To quote Idris Elba in that one thing. What was that thing he was in?
Well, were you talking about when he was Heimdall?
No, he was on that one show with the
British
inappropriate
series?
boss. Yeah, the one that can never be made today, according
Luther?
to the people who were on it.
Is that called Luther? Am I wrong?
No, that was the one with King Arthur.
Well, then
No,
I
sorry,
don't
that was
know.
Uther. I'm sorry. I don't. This bit has gone far too long. I was trying to get something to work in the background. Thank you very much, First Dragon Queen. Your efforts are valiant. KB Hugs for $2. Tried taking a fall. Who could have seen this coming? Oh, here we go. Pride taking a fall. Who could have seen this coming? There you go. That's great. It reminds me of the tweet the other day that went out. It says, "Who would have thought Helen of Troy could inspire so much conflict?"
Well, I mean, maybe she did inspire the launch of 1,000 ships, just not for the reasons described previously.
Exactly. Let's see here. What is next? Who's got the button? Albertus Magnus for $10. Alphabet people claim they were more creative and thus should be more represented in the entertainment business. Now it appears they are the only customers for their self-insert product. For me, it always comes back to the Sneetches. These people saying we're special because we have stars, or the people saying we're special because we don't have stars. Eventually, if you start saying it's this other thing that makes you special, and that's something that you can say you can earn, or not really earn, that you can do it, and or if you don't have it, it's better. You just have a bunch of people getting confused about who they are, and then the real villain or hero of that story, whether or not you follow it, is Professor Monkey McBean, who is charging to have stars put on or taken off at $10 a pop. And then eventually he starts raising his prices, and until he bleeds the Sneetches dry, in their own quest for being the coolest or the best or identity politics or whatever you want to call it.
NFTs, or but the wisdom of Dr. Seuss cannot be denied. I'll just say.
Yeah, apparently he was not happy that Horton Hears a Who started being used for political purposes. I'm like, well, a person is a person, no matter how small. You're the one who wrote that line, man. Not that I was the one who told him that. All right, let's see here. Excellent point, though, Albertus. Polymeter Gamer for 5. I have a feeling if Xbox sells, it will be bought by the one man who puts X on everything. Good on Elon. Could make it Xbox.
Hey,
that would be beautiful.
Sometimes some people want to get rid of their X twice. I'm just saying.
I mean, he's at this point with SpaceX. I don't know what the rules are for SpaceX, but they spent $60 billion buying Cursor.
Yeah, I saw that. That was in whole. I mean, in outright, just like, hi, welcome.
Yeah, we don't have to ask the shareholders. It's big enough that that's just what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Oh man, if a gaming company owned by someone based, now that would be fascinating. Tennille the 10th,
X based. He could rename it X based.
Yep, the Xbox Series X. Well, too many X's and you start to get into a different market. Tennille the 10th, member for 15, the face that launched 1,000 long faces.
Longer faces, but yeah.
I gotta say, I don't, Lupita Nyong'o, she ain't an ugly woman, but there's something about what is it, the Ray Romano thing about having twins, and he hopes that his twin boys grow up to be good looking. Because if an ugly guy walks by you, you go, huh. If the same ugly guy walks by you twice, you go, oh. There's nothing like being told this is the most attractive person in the entire world, to set the bar a little high. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, and the worst possible outcome for those two boys would be one of them got married and the other one couldn't.
So
at least make the person Greek.
Oh, what an amazing idea. Not even getting into the obvious there, right? Thank you, Nat, for bringing us to what was the silliest part of the Odyssey. All this authenticity and nobody's Greek.
Hey, look, the Greeks
love... They exist.
The Greeks love representation.
Yeah. They should have got what's the lady from My Big Fat Greek Wedding? They should have just got her.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, never mind. She's probably too old for the role. Not that she's not lovely. All right. Nat, do you want to tell everybody about your channels so that they can enjoy your insightful commentary over there as well when the pro show is done?
So right now on Nat and the Guy, we've been covering Alberta's independence. We've interviewed Culture Casino as well. We're very grateful for that. And we do a live show Monday through Saturday at 5 p.m. And we're doing some changes. So stay tuned for those because they'll be exciting as well.
Awesome. And it's Nat's channels are in English and Espanol. So you guys, you can enjoy that in many ways. One for the
thank you for having me again as well.
Oh, we love having you, and thank you so much for being here today while Pro is tied up in my basement. Culture, what you got going on your channels?
Well, today I dropped a video about Hollywood's implosion and becoming the new Detroit. I had a couple of articles to work from there, and commentary that I've been delivering for the better part of 6 years now. I can't believe I've been doing this for like 6 years, but anyway. And then before that, I dropped a little info on the sequel to Shang-Chi and its lack of appearance, and probably it's not going to make it ever. So yeah, I've been doing that. But today, if you are a member of my channel, you'll get early access, members first access to my thoughts on Toy Story 5, which I'll be reviewing after I see it this afternoon. And that video will be up for members first, and then tomorrow for everybody else. So even if you're not a member, you might want to check it out before you go. So there you go.
Awesome. And KB Hugs for $2, the super chat that's going to play us out. Jonas, time for a face reveal and a hello there. Yeah.
Where are you going to find a KB Hug store?
I got to tell you guys, if I ever do go on camera, it's not going to be Ewan McGregor's face. That's over here. Well, with that, we are going to wrap it up for the day. And thank you so much for being here. And button, who's got the button? Here it is. Oh, and keep having fun.
The mainstream media just can't understand how it is we continue to do what we do. They don't realize that we are powered by you, and you are
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
Folks, we've still got decades and decades left in the can. It drives the mainstream mad.
Would it make you feel any better if you knew that what we're asking Matt here to do is a holy thing?
You see, we're on a mission.